BMW M8 Competition Coupé. With the BMW 8 Series M Coupe automobiles, you experience maximum sporty-luxurious driving pleasure, on the road as well as on the racetrack. The BMW M8 Competition Coupe combines pure M genes with the highest exclusivity for sporty-luxurious driving experiences. The BMW M850i xDrive Coupe impresses with a unique synthesis of comfort, performance, and efficiency. Cost. The BMW M8 isn't cheap. Price around €168,273.99, €165,000 British pounds or $180,500 US. The coupe comes in at well into six figures, and the convertible is even pricier. Surprisingly, the Gran Coupe is the bargain of the range, undercutting the regular coupe by a four-figure sum. If you're weighing up your options, you can buy a Mercedes S-Class in S560 Coupe or Cabriolet form, or a Porsche 911 for much less, but then any M8 is small beer next to the cost of an Aston Martin DB11 or Bentley Continental GT. If you are enjoying our content, subscribe our channel to help growing the channel and get notifications for the next new videos. Let us continue. Driving experience. It comes with an 8-speed automatic gearbox and 4-wheel drive, but you can set it to rear-wheel drive if you're feeling bold. Performance upgrades are available, such as a delimited top speed of 189 miles per hour, the default is a limited 155 miles per hour, and carbon ceramic brakes, which retain their effectiveness for longer on a racetrack. Despite all the above, the M8 isn't solely about performance. No, BMW says it's as much about luxury, hence it comes equipped with many toys. If many isn't enough, you can option many, many more. You can further individualize your M8, upholstering it with bespoke leathers or Alcantara, or adding lashings of carbon fiber to its exterior. Is it any good, though? How it stacks up against its rivals. In the sportier corner there's the Audi R8 and Porsche 911, while the Bentley Continental GT covers the luxury end of the market. The M8 is designed to sit between those two extremes. Does the M8 deliver on its brief of sporty luxury? Well, let's explore the comfort side of things first. Switchable adaptive suspension is standard, and the softest of its three modes, Comfort, allows the M8 to float gently over the ups and downs of a subsiding B-road with just a little brittleness over any sharply callous sections. Admittedly, things can get a bit too floaty if you start pressing on, especially in the fractionally softer Cabriolet. This is when you'll want to cycle up to Sport or Sport Plus mode to anchor the car down. It's much more cosseting than a Porsche 911 and no worse riding than a Bentley Continental GT, but for more waft, the Mercedes S-Class Coupe is the one to choose. The four-door Gran Coupe version, meanwhile, is a little harsher than a Porsche Panamera but far less comfortable than conventional four-door luxury cars. The suspension settings are linked to a drive mode selector that lets you choose how the engine and gearbox responds, too, along with how heavy the steering is. You can select a preset mode or set everything up to your own taste. That means, for example, the steering can be left in comfort mode, its most relaxed setting, even with the wick turned up on the engine. Incidentally, that's the best way to have the steering set. It maintains enough weight that you can gauge your inputs accurately, without feeling unnaturally heavy. Is the steering as direct and feelsome as the 911's? No, but it offers a better sense of connection to the road than that of the Mercedes-AMG S63. Similar is true of the M8's body control, grip and traction. The coupe and convertible lean more than a Porsche 911 or Aston Martin DB11 and feel much heavier, which, in truth, they are. Yet, flick it between some high-speed left-right kinks and it's more alert than a Continental GT, while the Gran Coupe feels a little bit more exciting than the equivalent Panamera Turbo S. The 8-speed automatic gearbox plays its role effectively, kicking down on demand or producing sharp shifts if you choose to pull the steering wheel paddles. Good brakes are extremely important on a car like this. The M8 stop you effectively, and BMW makes a big play on the fact that you can adjust the pedal's response for a relaxed or sporty feel. The truth is that neither setting can match the reassuring solidity and progressiveness of a 911's or R8's brakes at high speeds. There's far less road roar than you're subjected to in a DB11 or 911, and there's hardly any wind noise, even in the convertible, assuming the roof is up. If you are enjoying our content, subscribe our channel to help growing the channel and get notifications for the next new videos. Let us continue. Interior. Outside, the M8's menacing, buena civil rosuit appearance grabs more than a casual stare from onlookers. Look inside, though, and it's mildly anticlimactic. It's a case in point of relative understatement, plush, without. Aping the gentrified air of a Mercedes S-Class Coupe or a Bentley Continental GT. That's not to say it isn't screwed together impeccably. Everything feels as solid as a mature oak, not something you can say about every square inch of an Aston Martin DB11. And for a little extra glamour you can swaddle your M8's interior from the palette of optional, upscale leather and Alcantara suede upholsteries that are available. What is a masterpiece is the M8's infotainment system. BMW's latest generation xDrive betters its rival systems by a mile, or a country mile in comparison with the DB11's antiquated equivalent. Firstly, it's very responsive and its menus are generally logical. Secondly, by sticking with a rotary controller and shortcut menu buttons, instead of touchscreen-only interfaces like the Porsche 911 has, it's a far less distracting proposition to use on the move. You can still use its 10.3 inches display as a touchscreen if that suits, or you can use the optional gesture control feature instead. With a flick of the wrist you can, for example, turn up the stereo volume or answer a call, but be warned, you might end up looking like a Harry Potter wannabe who's lost his wand. There's always BMW's intelligent personal assistant as another alternative. It's like Amazon Alexa, except you shout out, "Hey BMW," to wake it up. You can fit occupants in the rear chairs, although not a very big one behind an occupied driver's seat, but this is very much a 2+2. That's not necessarily unusual in this class, and it's more accommodating than a Porsche 911, say, but it's worth bearing in mind. There's a 420-liter boot behind, with an opening wide enough to accommodate an obligatory golf bag. The front two occupants are well catered for, at least, with a pair of multi-way electrically adjustable, lavishly finished and accommodating seats that remain comfortable over distance yet provide good lateral support. BMW's driving environment, a widely adjustable driving position with a round wheel that you can pull close to your chest and pedals and seat laid out straightly. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on the world of cars.